Today we'll talk about Johnny Cash Morrissey's sneaky financial moves and the complex laundering of 200 million euros over 18 months, which was planned by a key member of the Kinahan Cartel. The huge amount, equal to the budget of a small country, shows how rewarding their secret banking system was that avoided normal financial oversight and tracking. So how did this person manage to evade the authorities? And did he end up getting caught? Let's get caught up in this video. So, a large money laundering group has recently come to the public's attention after a person at the center of the Kinahan Cartel financial operations was caught. It is said that this person, who is seen as a key figure in the gang, is responsible for laundering an unbelievable amount of money every day. About 350,000 euros. According to the Spanish cops, this adds up to a crazy 200 million euros over the last 15 months. When Spanish police looked more closely at how this secret network worked, they found that the members used cleverly modified cars, which are sometimes called hot vehicles. The criminals cleverly changed these cars to include cleverly designed hidden compartments that were made to carry large amounts of illegal money, making their bad activities easier. The money laundering scheme, on the other hand, is built on Hawala, an old system of trust-based networks that goes beyond what current financial systems can do. The Hawala method is very different from traditional banking because it doesn't allow money to physically move between accounts or countries. Instead, it rests on a group of brokers in different countries who work together like parts of a very complicated financial machine. Hawala is an informal method of transferring money without any physical movement of cash. It relies on a network of trusted brokers or hawalators. Here's how it works. Person A wants to send money to Person B. Person A gives the money to Hawalator X. Hawalator X contacts Hawalator Y, near Person B, and instructs them to give an equivalent amount to Person B. The two hawalators later settle the debt through various means, often without any money moving across borders. A defined password is used to keep these transactions safe. The agents who are part of this web of money laundering charge a fee for each deal they help make happen. The most sneaky thing about this method is that it doesn't leave any evidence of the money's existence, movement, or rightful ownership. We'll get into more details about that later. The story then turns to John Morrissey, an Irishman who is 62 years old and has roots in Malaga that go back many years. People inside the Kinahan Cartel often call Johnny Morrissey by the alias Johnny Cash. He has been portrayed as the typical financial wizard who works behind the scenes to launder money. His name, which accidentally makes me think of the famous American singer known for his sad songs about finding love and forgiveness, has a darker tone in this story about crime and hiding. Morrissey is said to be able to make huge amounts of money disappear and then reappear, seemingly without a trace. This has given him a wicked image in the criminal world, similar to how a skilled magician uses smoke and mirrors to trick people. While Morrissey was living in Malaga, a city famous for its sun-kissed beaches and rich cultural history, his life seemed to be one of quiet retirement, but it is said that he was actually planning a huge financial scam behind this appearance of calmness. Police say that his operations had reached across countries and were very skilled at weaving through the global financial system. This man didn't deal in small amounts of money. The amounts at stake were huge, the risks were immense, and the effects on the criminal underworld would be huge. It's hard to believe that 200 million euros was laundered over 18 months. It's more than the annual GDP of some small island countries. To give you an idea, this is the same as paying for the healthcare budget of a small country, or the building of a brand new hospital. This shows the hugeness and riskiness of what Morrissey is said to be doing and emphasizes how much money the Kinahan gang is thought to have. We've already discussed the Hawala system, but it's important to have more context here. Before going into more detail about the Hawala system, which seems to be Morrissey's preferred way, it is important to know what it means historically and how it has been used for bad things. In the beginning, Hawala was considered a legitimate way to get money to places and people that didn't have easy access to banks. It is a very old practice that goes back hundreds of years and has its roots in South Asia and the Middle East. But in the hands of dishonest people, it turns into an unseen river of money that flows below the surface of the global economy and is very easy for regulators and police to avoid seeing. Johnny Cash Morrissey is seen as the leader in the Kinahan Cartel's strategic game of international law enforcement versus organized crime. He claimed financial smarts didn't just keep the cartel running, they gave it life and helped it grow, expand, and become more powerful. This wasn't just a theft or a scam. It was more like a financial uprising that threatened the security and integrity of the economic systems that hold countries together. Morrissey's freedom ended suddenly on an unfortunate Monday in Spain, where he got arrested. He is now the main suspect in this complicated case. The U.S. government sees Morrissey as one of the most important people in the Kinahan Cartel and has given him the important job of a money launderer. Morrissey's arrest is not the end of the story. It is just a big step in the complicated dance between crime groups and the people who are after them. It sends a clear message. The doors to international cooperation are wide open, but those who try to make money in the dark are being caught. The respected Spanish Civil Guard, the Guardia Civil, has successfully broken up this large money laundering network. This achievement is captured in a picture that stands for their success. As the last part of Operation Whitehall, this successful operation took place on the sunny Costa del Sol. The Spanish organized crime units that worked together with the skills of Guardia Ciudadana, the British National Crime Agency, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, the Dutch Police, and Europol's European Center for Financial and Economic Crime made this operation possible. In a statement about their unwavering commitment to justice, Spain's Guardia Civil said that their extensive international investigation has brought down the most powerful international criminal group operating in Spain and specializing in the complex art of money laundering. This group of people probably sent more than 200 million euros through the infamous Hawala system over the course of 18 months, according to a detailed account of their actions. Because of this large-scale operation, not only was Mr. Morrissey arrested, but also a male suspect and a female suspect were also detained in Spain. Since then, Mr. Morrissey and the man who was with him have been brought before the Spanish courts and were remanded in prison after a closed hearing on Wednesday. The female defendant, on the other hand, was not charged. In the same time frame as these events, one person was arrested in England, and 11 thorough searches were carried out in the UK and Spain. Assistant Commissioner Paul Cleary, a high-ranking member of the Garda's Organized and Serious Crime Branch, said that recent events in Spain show how determined and persistent foreign law enforcement agencies are. Their combined efforts are a strong sign that they are determined to break up and damage crime networks. With a lot of authority, Commissioner Cleary made it clear that Guardia Ciudadana is ready to keep working closely with partners around the world. Collectively, the goal is to carefully go after and stop transnational crime groups that make money from drug trafficking. These bad forces cast a long shadow over society, and they have a particularly bad effect on the people in Ireland. In his comments, Commissioner Cleary made it clear that he is determined to get rid of these crime networks that do a lot of damage to society. As an ending note that emphasizes how strong and effective the Guardia Civil is, a picture stands as a quiet reminder of how hard they worked to break up the complex money laundering network. A critical study that started at the beginning of the previous year sparked this project. Large amounts of drugs were found in cars in the province of Malaga, including over 200 kilograms of cocaine and about 500,000 euros in cash. This shows how broad the investigation is. People weren't driving normal cars. They had been turned into crime machines by adding complex hiding systems, which is a sign of how clever these criminals were. For similar content, don't forget to check out the other videos on your screen.